place. Here's the text thread. She said, sorry for the late text. I've been working, making videos. He said, it's okay. How's that been? And can I see those? Are you not comfortable with that yet? She says, to be quite honest with you, I'll probably never send you those. He said, oh, why not? She said, because no. He said, LMAO, it's just no, it's no other reason, just no. No is a reason all by itself. He says, I understand, that's why I asked, but okay, I understand. So would you take others that you don't post for me? She said, no. He says, I get that. I only ask because I know there's usually reasons that cause no to be the answer. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. She said, you don't because you asking other questions. He said, I wasn't trying to pry. I was really just wondering. I do, though. You said, no, I'm not going to push you for it anymore. But I don't think it's an issue to try and understand why. She says, I'm sure you weren't, but I mean, the no was kind of self-explanatory. He said it was
in when a boundary is set and somebody says, hey, I'm not comfortable with this, or don't ask me this, or I don't want to talk about this, or whatever the fuck, you know, however they phrase it. I think that asking the why, the timing of that matters, because when it comes to like in common linguistic culture, when you think about like sales culture and the way we use language, when somebody says why, that's the beginning of a negotiation in 99% of context. So if somebody says, hey, no, and you go, oh, well, why? What that is you trying to collect information to argue against. Usually, it's not always that, but that's what it is. And so when you receive that, you're like, what you mean, why? That's you. That's basically you communicating that my no was not sufficient. But if you ask, hey, you remember 2 weeks ago when you said this thing, by the way, you've let some time pass. Why is that a thing that's important for you? And so I think where you time that makes a difference, because saying why straight away to something that somebody has expressed seems like you haven't heard the boundary that they've tried to give. You've trying to figure out an argument, you know?
It's a red flag.
I would say that the funniest shit ever was when Josh was talking about there are lots of bad people in the world. Some of those bad people just happen to be the ones.
Was I not spitting? Was I not spitting?
I don't know, man.
This nigga Josh had so many fucking like top tier like gold moments.
Just great bars, Oh man, no, that shit when he said
bar after bar after bar.
When Ada said, "Yo, watching porn on the TV is crazy," he went, wait a second, guys. And we all just realized he definitely watches porn on the TV.
I have the capability to watch porn on the TV, and I have done it before. That's all.
No,
not all the time.
I'm seeing the couch placement, the throw pillows right across from the fucking well-lit TV.
Oh, no, I'm not a fucking savage. Just that shit goes on in the bedroom. You know what I mean? Never.
Oh, you got a TV in the bedroom?
Absolutely. Mounted and everything with the lights and candles.
Got it. Okay. I like that. I think jerking off with candles is very important.
See, I don't do all that.
It's basically self-care, you know?
No. I'm very caveman Neanderthal with it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Again, the capability to, but do I use it?
But you don't really.
No.
Okay. No, I'm definitely. Yeah, I jerked off within the last month, like candle lit, put like the diffuser on in the bathroom and shit. But it wasn't really.
Some fucking Kenny G. Some fucking Kenny G in the back.
Yeah.
In a bubble bath. Like
bath salts and shit. Yeah.
Sometimes he probably like strutted into the bathroom, like did a little dance, you know?
Oh yeah. No, I had like a silk robe on, you know what I'm saying? I just pulled the penis part apart to get my dick out, but my whole shirt. That's it.
That nigga was turning himself on. That nigga was already bricked up by the time he walked in.
Dick was out of the apron already.
Through the little pajama hole, man. Just through the little pajama hole.
Oh shit. Oh. Yeah, no, but it's crazy because it was a weird mixture because I feel like I was jerking off standing over the toilet, so it wasn't a particularly like romantic. So it was just a weird combination of like high and low art. You know what I mean? Wasn't good.
Yo, you are a fucking psychopath, my nigga.
I was trying a different technique. You
are a fucking psychopath.
You said that shit serious as fuck too. Like you might actually be a psychopath.
Okay, wait. Which part? So I know not to say that in public again.
Oh god.
So for me, it's less about the action as opposed to the tonal shift. You're like, yeah, man, I like to treat myself, but actually, what I did was I masturbated over my toilet.
Yo, welcome everybody to Waving the Red Flag, the #1 dating and masturbation podcast in the entire universe and parts of the fourth and fifth dimension. Is Neil deGrasse Tyson's favorite porn-related podcast. It's your boys Eddie, it's Josh, it's Alvin. Let's get into the show. I'm sorry that y'all had to start listeners, I'm sorry, I had to start with hearing about my disgusting depravities and psychopathic tendencies. Sorry about that.
Oh shit!
I really did burn incense though. I really did. I had the frankincense going. I turned the shower on, so it was all steamy and shit. It was
This
nice.
nigga said frankincense. Oh
Yeah,
my
the
god.
oh my god!
Fucking gold,
Had to.
frankincense, and myrrh.
Marigold.
Had to.
Oh, God.
Frankincense, sandalwood.
What music was
Followed
playing?
the North Star home. There we
Yeah,
go.
I followed the North Star to a nut.
Yeah. God rest you, merry gentle. I can't wait till Christmas actually because I love.
Oh, who you fuck you tell?
Yeah, that's gonna be great. I love all those carols and shit. I don't even be religious, but I just love like all those Nat King Cole like hymns and shit. I'd be like, I'm Christian for like 3 days during December every year.
It's like me during the Olympics, bro. I be patriotic as fuck, but I'm going hard as hell during Christmas for real. I'm giving my whole family custom toy bags for their gifts.
Hell yeah,
Ooh.
hell yeah.
But you ain't gonna put no toys in the motherfuckers, just the bags. So you just get what you get. But you got a dope ass bag.
It's inspiring them to hustle harder. Here's the bag. You got to have it filled by next year, young brother. You got to start hustling. Fill this with toys.
Right. This that motivation you needed in your life.
Yeah.
I might say some shit like that, bro.
Merry Christmas. I'm putting that dog in you. That's what you get. That's definitely the type of Alvin would definitely give you an assignment as a present for Christmas, 100%.
I might steal that one.
Yeah, I'm making these better men. I'm making these boys into men. Y'all want to talk about that Cam Newton? Is it Cam Newton clip?
It is Cam Newton, yes.
What happened with Cam Newton?
Because I was confusing that with the Crocodile Cam shit, which is another.
Oh, I saw that shit too.
Crocodile Cam shit is crazy, but
yeah, no, the Crocodile Cam shit is. I don't know. I don't know the Cam Newton shit, but the Crocodile Cam shit was.
I feel like I didn't have.
Cam
It seemed too
Newton shit is
complicated for me to speak on. I'm happy to talk on the Crocodile Cam shit if y'all feel like y'all get it enough to talk on.
I got a perfect TikTok that I break it down like the whole thing.
Okay, yeah, play it. Because I was like lost or not. I was like, this seems too messy for me to to say something.
It also is an old point. It's like this is something that happened, like the height of it, 3 maybe 4 months ago, and it's coming back up now because one of the parties brought it back up, and Crocodile Cam was like, "I need to clear the air on this situation."
It was because like the timeline, like it was happened in May or some shit, but the girl, oh fuck.
And this woman had blown up before on Twitter like a year ago or something from that selfie with the big glasses. I was like, oh, that's the same person, which makes sense. I guess they're both famous people.
She's a very popular OnlyFans content creator. Yeah, like her first and secondary accounts are like, I want to say it's approaching like 1 million followers. Like she's very popular.
Damn, she that popular?
Big time. Yeah. You know, she's. I mean, look, no comment. Yeah, she's talented.
Carramello.
I saw this live, so I'm just curious how much they catch.
A flex worker, a content creator with minimal attire, if you know what I'm saying. And this guy is Crocodile Cam, right? Okay, so you met the two people. Now, back in March, Carramello posted, "My week started off rough. I expressed that something made me uncomfortable flexually just for the person to turn around and gaslight me and argue with me about my boundaries. I went into the situation with hope and good intentions, and I don't have the rest of the screenshot." And then she resurfaced this tweet back in May, right? So this is the beginning of the year, 2-month stretch of talking about the situation. So at this point, Carramello had this Crocodile Cam labeled as a harasser, and then people started saying that he assaulted her. He flexually assaulted her, right? For months, this was going on. I don't mean to laugh, but for months, this was going on. People were accusing this guy of essaying this woman, and I don't stand for any of that. I don't care what your role is, what your position is, right? Until we get to today. So Cam decided to go on Twitter and say, okay, I'm making this thread because the narrative has been twisted so far from what it should be, and people are being attacked in my name undeservingly. I have already apologized and will do so as many times as needed, but I can't allow for other people to be undeservingly attacked in my name. So he wrote an entire thread with proof of what took place. So he said him and Carramello were talking romantically every day from early January to early March. They never met, so it was just over the phone. The goal was to get to know each other more and to eventually see each other in person. He liked her and she said that she liked him. So, you know, things were moving along. Now, things were going good. He showed images that she would send him that were promiscuous. Even though that was her role, she would send him like some loose things, you know, and showed him her body frame, I guess I should say. And he shared messages of when things started getting bad, like the text started getting a little dry, yada, yada, yada. And they had some disagreements about like how the conversation should take place. And she was just saying that she's a bad texter, yada, 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 and that she doesn't pick up because it'd be late at night. And, you know, just different styles of communication. So here's the situation. They get to early March, and one day she says she's making videos. This is when the situation that she was referencing took place. Here's the text thread. She said, sorry for the late text. I've been working making videos. He said, it's okay. How's that been? And can I see those? Are you not comfortable with that yet? She says, to be quite honest with you, I'll probably never send you those. He said, oh, why not? She said, because no. He said, LMAO, it's just no, it's no other reason, just no. No is a reason all by itself. He says, I understand, that's why I asked, but okay, I understand. So would you take others that you don't post for me? She said, no. He says, I get that. I only ask because I know there's usually reasons that cause no to be the answer. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. She said, you don't because you asking other questions. He said, I wasn't trying to pry. I was really just wondering. I do, though. You said, no, I'm not going to push you for it anymore. But I don't think it's an issue to try and understand why. She says, I'm sure you weren't, but I mean, the no was kind of self-explanatory. He said, it wasn't for me. You always really give really short answers, and I have to ask to get more info. I thought this was another one of those instances. She said, it definitely was, but okay. You asked when, you kind of should have just left it at no. And then that's the conversation. So then he tries to change the conversation, but okay, cool. You got anything else planned, or you just chilling, sorry. Regarding anything flexual, whether it's a video or anything else, why are you asking why? Shit like that, you leave it at no, which I thought was common sense. He says, and that's why I said I wasn't going to press you about it anymore, because, yeah, no means no, but I don't think it's an issue to simply ask why not, especially if it's someone you're getting to know. I've sent you things before. I'm perfectly fine with that, but we never talked about you sending me anything. And I'm going to still ask why, simply to get to know you more. I understand why you said no, yada, yada, yada. So then he says almost 2 months passed, and they were still following each other. She was still liking his post on IG, but they weren't talking like that because they didn't end on a great note. He didn't think anything of it. And then that's when the post on Twitter started happening. And now a bunch of people are saying he essayed her and he was harassing her. And me personally, I don't think that is the case at all. She said she did something. He asked, can he see? She said no. He said, why not? She said, because no means no. He was like, okay, I'm just asking. She's like, oh, you should have to ask. I said, no means no. And then y'all disputed whether he should have just left it at no, or was it okay for him to ask why not? And now people are calling this man, yo, bro, this doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to lie. And now she made her page private because all these people were attacking him because of what she said went down. And now everybody read the thread. And they're like, wait, like, that's not what we thought the situation was, bro. And it's like,
all right, y'all want to see the rest of it? It's like 1 more minute left in this bitch, and we got enough to go off.
If it's relevant, I mean, like,
it's more so like
there's more information than you.
It's more so like his thoughts versus here's what happened.
Versus okay, yeah, then maybe less so. Because I know there was another woman involved in this, like Satoru, Saranto, something like that, who was his homegirl, and
and he mentioned her at the end of the thread. That he posted on the 22nd.
Can you say what it was?
So basically, Carramello called her out for what she viewed as enabling his behavior, despite the fact that both that individual and Crocodile Cam said that the individual that he named was kind of trying to hold him accountable from the aspect of no means no. That's kind of where they both stood on that. That the moment that when you're dealing with sexual things and no becomes a statement of fact that you stop, that you're done, they kind of both agreed on that one. And apparently the creator that he mentioned is the one that told him that, and that's why he apologized initially when it was coming out. But Carramello called her out and was like, hey man, you're still like supporting this guy, you're still doing that even though he sexually harassed me. I do want to highlight that Carramello never used the word sexual assault. Other people did that. She said sexual harassment.
So she never okay. That's a good clarification.
Yeah. She never said sexual assault. She said sexual harassment. But she viewed this other lady as being kind of like his plot armor in this whole saga, and the other lady was kind of just like, hold up, that's not what happened. I said where he should be held accountable, but I'm going to stand firm that what you said happened isn't how this went down. And that is actually what prompted Crocodile Cam to post the screenshots and tell this story. Basically because he wanted to defend this other lady who was...
from the backlash she was getting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I actually have the video from that woman pulled up, Miss Satoru.
Let's get into it.
The anime guru. So she's given like her taking this one, and then Carramello is in the comments being like, "Bitch, you're lying! Like you're contradicting yourself and that shit." So, but here I'll play it.
This is messy as fuck. I'm here for it. Let's spill the tea, Eddie.
Let's go. Yeah.
Period.
Put it all on the table. High tea, evening tea. Tea and crumpets. Okay.
T at bar. I know damn.
Can you hear it, by the way?
Since you're coming,
I can hear it now.
And potentially harming my brand, I will address this. I have not asked you. I have not talked about you. I have not subbed you, despite knowing that you have been telling a version of the story that is not necessarily true. When everything came out about Cam, I publicly condemned Cam for his actions. I publicly condemned him because he was 100% wrong. He was wrong for questioning your no. He was absolutely wrong. Me and Cam talked. You and I also talked. I think you forget that. But you and I also talked. And what you said versus your actions didn't align. Because when we talked, it was, you were just really disappointed. You were hurt, but you weren't trying to cause any trouble. You didn't want to get him in any trouble. But that didn't match up with how you were acting on Twitter. Right? Now, I am also a survivor of sexual assault myself, multiple sexual assaults. I am also a pro-dom, so part-time sex worker, if you will. I haven't dommed in a while, but like, I've seen the screenshots. I've seen the conversations. And one of the reasons why they haven't been dropped has been because we know how the world treats sex workers. And we know if it comes out that you were even exaggerating the truth, people are going to run with that. And people are going to use that to discredit everybody and sex workers everywhere. And what I really hate is that you had a valid reason to be upset. You had a valid reason to be upset. He asked you for pictures after you got done shooting content. He pushed your no. He gaslighted you about it. I cursed him out behind that. I told him, you are 100% fucking wrong. It doesn't matter what your intention was. It doesn't matter if you genuinely didn't have any bad intentions. Your impact is what matters, right? I said, she is a sex worker. How do you think it feels for you to pressure her? No, right? We had this whole conversation, right? And if Cam had not told the truth, if Cam hadn't verified the story that you also told me, he would have been immediately cut. If he would have argued back at any point about not being wrong, about how he didn't fuck up, even though he should have understood it initially when you guys talked, I hate that he didn't, but he did understand where he fucked up. What is the end goal for Cam? Do we want growth or do you want punishment? Because you need to clarify what it is that you want. Because if you want punishment, you need to say that. But you specifying that he asked for a video of you masturbating when that wasn't the case, when he just asked you for pictures of content because y'all were romantically involved and you had done it in the past, should he have felt entitled to those pictures? Absolutely fucking not. But acting like he was just expecting them because you're a sex worker and not because y'all were romantically involved. And people are pushing this narrative that Cam sexually assaulted you, like physically sexually assaulted you. I've seen it. And you have not clarified that. I don't know if the issue is when things dropped with Cam, it wasn't the response that you wanted. Like people were not as mad as you thought they should have been because he violated your boundaries. But the way the truth has been exacerbated, and I have not even gone into detail because that is really not my position to do. Like that is for Cam to do. But since you brought me into it, I have to address at least my side of things. HideCon is absolutely a safe space for women. I will never, ever, ever not hold any of my friends accountable for some bullshit that they did. And anybody who knows me knows that to be a fucking fact. I don't know where we go from here. And I really hate that it came to this.
So then
yeah,
what is that? Is that granite? What is that? Is that travertine?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's opulence. That's what it is.
Carramello says, I'm actually glad you made this video because now people can see you lie and contradict yourself in real time.
No.
Proving my point that you don't have the capacity to hold a safe space for women.
No.
So.
And she also posted screenshots of their DMs as well.
Oh, and then here's another tweet that I saw that was interesting. So when Cam posted the original, here's the thread that shows my side of the story, somebody then responded, it's funny. Over the past week, I have been hearing about you from at least 3 of my unconnected mutuals, all calling you abusive and dangerous. Since you're in an accountability mood, can you explain that? Okay. But yeah, and okay, so for another bit of context, Alvin, you said that Carramello had shared screenshots.
No, the other creator, the lady that we just saw the video of.
Satoru.
She shared screenshots of DMs between her and Carramello, basically corroborating her narrative of their specific exchange.
That she had come at him and said, hey, you were in the wrong for this behavior.
Yes.
Yeah. If we
Well, okay, so we don't have all the nasty messy little details of the whole situation, but I feel like we've got enough. Screenshots
can be very you know, I delete a message. I omit this particular screenshot of a situation. I can spin a narrative by
that's true.
Even just where you start in the whole thing, which is a point that I made with the fucking what's the old boy's name from Superbad?
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill. I was gonna say Seth Rogen. Yeah, Jonah Hill.
Put Seth Rogen in there.
It was one of them. It was one of them.
It was one of them.
I was certain that it was Seth Rogen.
No.
But yeah, I think that's the thing we always leave out. You should always take into account who is the person recording, who is the person who is giving the message, because they not finna put in shit that makes their narrative not look good. They're only gonna give you the shit that is towards whatever it is that they're trying to prove, obviously.
Yeah, but I mean, like, even in that, with what Crocodile Dundee did, saying, like, because like you could see like his the awkwardness, like the creepiness, you know, behind us. Well, why not?
A little.
And then, because hey, most real niggas, like, you know, we would have just like, man, shit, this bitch tripping or whatever, and they would have just they just would have left her fucking alone, because hey, it's not going where I wanted to go. If it's not going to be something sexual, even if we are long distance, And I'm not saying you need to be a real nigga to do some shit like that, but just you know what you want. No, if you're going to give me the no, I'm out. Yeah. It might not be the best representation of I'm out, but fucking I'm out. You're not going to be able to say some shit about whatever. But he just kept pressing he asked deeper questions on the no, which part of me, I can't condemn like 100%. Like 100%, I can't condemn it, because it depends on how you go about it. Me personally, I might have asked like one deeper question. If it was just like, nah, hey, whatever, these are my boundaries. All right, cool, fuck it. I'm not touching that. But the fact that he just kept touching a little bit, just kept asking, was a little weird.
I agree with you, because what I think he was trying to do, having positive intent for him in this situation, is that I think he was trying to use this as a proxy for, is she still feeling me? And I think he could have directly. Yeah. Again, because I think that when you're in these circumstances where that kind of content is on the table, and you're dealing with somebody who, in my opinion, should be kind of treated like a protected class from a sex work perspective. Like, you kind of have to have special rules and boundaries around how you approach that. But I think he was trying to basically just be like, you know, like, are you not sending me this because you don't fucking feel me? And then he kind of crossed over into that kind of creepy realm when he wasn't able to articulate that well. And for niggas out there listening, you not being able to articulate something well still makes you creepy, right? That doesn't absolve you from creepiness just because you had a different intention with it.
Yeah, I'm probably about to disagree, but I feel you, but okay, but that's what I was going to ask. What do you? Maybe I don't even want to go down that route. But
just
being ugly makes you creepy. If we want to go down that
route, no, don't do that. That's not
because I disagree. But to Josh's point, I think there's a way for him to have gotten what I'm viewing it from a lens of positive intent, what he wanted to get out of that conversation without broaching on the creepy territory, and he just didn't do that for whatever reason. I don't know.
And if you just want to, I'm just saying this one last little piece, because I believe like Alvin really summed up exactly what I was trying to get at. Was like he was really trying to ask, are you still feeling me? Are you still attracted to me? Because like the conversation is dead at this point. Like, you're giving me one word answers. And he tried to end the conversation.
He tried to end the relationship because of that, right?
It was. But she also said some shit that I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? She was like, whenever we do talk, you ask me the same questions every day. You call me late as fuck. So you can see like both sides of it. And he's just like, all right, well, shit, baby, you still feeling me. This one last little Hail Mary. Can we get it on? But yeah, no, it didn't work out. So yeah, go ahead, bro.
And that's a weird situation to be in, because, and I'll drop the creepy bits because I want to get into the nuance of the things that we agree on. Like, being in a situation where you're like, fuck, does this person like me? And you ask as directly as you can, because I think that's a larger important bit of the context here, which is that like, fuck, what are we doing? Am I bothering you? And to me, and I think a lot of other people reading it, is like, she's not feeling you. Like, regardless of whether she's saying like, oh, I am and all that, the whole conversation, every screenshot that he sent us, to me, screams, this is done. Like, this is dried the fuck up. She's not feeling you. She's maybe interested in the attention. She's maybe vaguely curious, but she's not giving you mutual energy. And you're still trying to be like, yeah, and you're still trying to be like, oh wait, what is it? But I don't think that makes you creepy or bad to be in a situation where you're like, well, fuck, I'm getting the signal of that you're not interested, but then you're saying that you are. So what is this? And I think that most real niggas would just go, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I'm out. But I don't think that you're a weirdo for not having that level of almost self-respect to be like, you know what? I don't, fuck it. I'm out. This is weird. I feel like I'm doing too much to maintain this. I'm out. I think a lot of people are going to be like, they feel like they're getting breadcrumbed. So,
Yeah.
So I think that there's a lot of room for like, he specifically sought out, are you not feeling me? And instead of you know what? Yeah, I think it's fizzled. It's, oh no, here's these reasons. And then now he has to read between lines to figure out that, oh, actually, even if you're not fully certain, it actually is done.
You're making great points. However, those points, those things didn't quite happen. Because even though like the underlying thing of what he might have meant and what he might have felt was, are you still feeling me? Do we still have a shot? Are we still linking up in the next month or two? So like, but like this, at this point, like the texts are dying down, the conversation is dying down, like the excitement is kind of over. Like, you know, and like she's not completely at fault because like he's calling her random times, responding late as fuck. Like calling late as fuck and then asking the same questions day in and day out. That's gonna drive the coochie up for any damn body. You know what I'm saying? Like,
none of that shit matters if somebody's feeling you. Like, I get what you're saying, but like the time that you're calling is some shit that somebody says when they not.
That's cap, bro. Like, I mean, look, niggas be busy, dog. Like, I mean, it's like, yo, I'll answer the no. You got this romantic. I think you might have like a very romantic, sweet Disney like fairy tale thing in your head where it's like, oh, I've been working all day. I've broken my back. I've been sweating. I just took a shower. Just got into bed. I just nuzzled up and really got into my REM sleep. But the love of my life just called. And I now have 3 hours to spend off the phone with them.
I'm not saying that you wouldn't.
8 p.m. on a Monday. You call me 8 p.m. on a Monday.
100%. I've been in the same situation.
The gift is even answering the fucking phone.
I'm not arguing that a person wouldn't be like, hey, I can't speak to you. What I'm saying is, because I've been in this, we're not gonna play like I haven't been in this situation. If I have a woman who's texting me, pressing me at different times, then I'm not available, but I'm feeling her, then I'm figuring out how to make time some other time. It might not be that time, but it'll be like, hey, I'll call you back at fucking 5 the next day. That's not evidence for me not feeling them anymore. Like, that's fair. I'm making time. I'm not going to circle around her schedule, but I'm still feeling her. Her being annoying is not going to make a difference if she's bad.
What I was gonna say is that you, being the nigga that you are, would have very clear boundaries on like
exactly
how you want to communicate and all that kind of stuff. So like that fits with how I was gonna respond to that. So you've already preempted that.
Okay. And I would say and it's the same for any woman. If a nigga is calling you all weird fucking times and shit, and you like him. Now, I'm not saying if you already kind of wasn't really feeling him, that's going to definitely bring him trending downwards because nobody likes an unattractive, needy motherfucker. So sure, that's definitely trending him down. If you already like him and he's pressing you, you're going to figure out ways to interact, how to meet up, how to get flew out, all that kind of shit. Let's not bullshit.
Big facts. I mean, it ain't like she ain't got, other people on the payroll or people that are other attention in other areas that might be.
Come on.
Yeah. But I don't know. Again, we don't have all the details.
That's why I'm scared to talk about it because I feel like because is she saying that he did something other than just what we're seeing in the screen caps that he sent, or are we just coming to a verdict?
They never even got up in the first place. It was because like the main meat of the conversation seems to be when he just doesn't have the social IQ enough to recognize that for this particular person, this no is a hard fucking no. Like just leave it alone. Like, And you take from that whatever you want to take from it. Like, okay, well, she must not be feeling me like that, because if she really wanted me, if she was really feeling me, she was really attracted to me, sending a video or two wouldn't be a damn problem. But you would think.
And I think
that muddies the waters a bit. But go ahead, Alvin.
My thing is, and I think it's the angle that he's coming at it from, is that we have to hold him accountable for what he actually did. Mm-hmm. Now, to Eddie's point, we don't necessarily know everything, right? Like, these things are, again, you delete a couple text messages and then you take a screenshot. Who the fuck knows what the fuck this conversation actually looked like? Yeah. I think you should tend to err on the side of victims in these circumstances strictly because of those kind of things. But looking at the situation at face value, it seems very much like you should chastise him and hold him accountable for not recognizing the boundary, for putting her in a situation where she was uncomfortable, which is something that people should be held accountable for, especially if you're, quote unquote, trying to be involved with them romantically. I think the issue is that the larger social media community took the conjecture and ran with it a little bit further, and they started saying things that the actual evidence and even Carramello's actual initial words didn't support.
Yeah, and I don't want to. I'm hesitant to put a scale on this, but to me, this strikes me as you did the wrong thing. You've now acknowledged that it was the wrong thing for that scenario. People in your community have said as much. You've come forward. Cool. We keep it pushing. Like, that seems like where that is. If we want accountability, this seems like the appropriate amount for this kind of trespass. Like, I think open to being corrected if I'm misstepping there, but this seems like what needed to happen in this situation has been done. Is that what? I guess the question is, what is Carramello accusing him of anything else, or what is it that she thinks needs to happen? Because this seems like
she clarified during the reemergence of the situation that she is saying that she was sexually harassed in that text message in what we were saying.
Yes, thread.
Okay, well, yeah. So then I think that's a fair naming
assault,
of that.
She clarified sexual harassment, which this likely meets like the definition of.
Yeah.
It was like a little sexual harassing for sure. Like, it was definitely like, once you give the no,
and they push you, and
then push like, multiple times,
circumstances, that's wrong.
Yeah,
because I'm not gonna hold you, because it's like, and I'm being very careful with my words. I think it's okay to be able to ask relevant, deeper questions. And it's like, okay, but also provide context and provide that person a safe space to understand that I'm not trying to force you into doing the thing that was previously requested. But in order to get to know you a little bit more, I would just, like to understand a little bit more about X, Y, Z.
I think it's a time and a place for that. Because I agree.
Sure.
This is a thing, because this is a thing that even like in our relationship has come up as like not in like a sexual context, but in like it applies to everything. When somebody says, well, I'm just
This nigga coughing and shit. You done made this nigga have a fit, Eddie.
Right. This nigga,
he got a bit of the consumption.
I know this nigga seething and shit now because you done said some shit about y'all
relationship. I didn't mean to get you flustered. I'm not comfortable sending those type of videos. I think so. What I mean is, in when a boundary is set and somebody says, "Hey, I'm not comfortable with this," or "Don't ask me this," or "I don't want to talk about this," or whatever the fuck, however they phrase it. I think that asking the why, the timing of that matters, because when it comes to like in common linguistic culture, when you think about like sales culture and the way we use language, when somebody says why, that's the beginning of a negotiation in 99% of context. Yes. So if somebody says, "Hey, no," and you go, "Oh, well, why?" What that is you trying to collect information to argue against. Usually, it's not always that, but that's what it is. And so when you receive that, you're like, "What you mean, why?" That's basically you communicating that my no was not sufficient. But if you ask, hey, you remember 2 weeks ago when you said this thing, by the way, you've let some time pass. Why is that a thing that's important for you? And so I think where you time that makes a difference, because saying why straight away to something that somebody has expressed seems like you haven't heard the boundary that they've tried to give you, trying to figure out an argument, you know?
And then also, I think that, and this is something that I've often accused Eddie of doing, is oftentimes when people do this thing where they want to like lead you to a certain conclusion, they ask these multi-step questions. Try to get you to say what they want you to say.
I hate that shit. Just man, nigga.
Yeah. So what I do.
I mean, right though. Y'all just don't like it.
No, you don't.
So what I do often in conversation with Eddie, and also specifically at work, is I say, "Hang on, let me just ask my actual question," because I will find myself doing this thing where I'm like trying to steer the conversation a certain way, and I'm trying to ask leading questions to get what I want, and I say, let me pause. Let me just ask what the fuck I want to ask. And I think a lot of times,
let me not get too about that.
Right, because that motherfucker will ask you all questions.
What do you mean by that? Like this nigga.
No, because the problem is in the context of rhetoric. When you ask somebody what the fuck you want, they go into fucking defense mode. They
I'm
skip
in defense
around
mode no matter what, bro. When I'm having a conversation with you, I'm still in defense mode.
I'm with you, because I'm in defense mode too. Because I'm like, nigga, I know this is leading somewhere, and if I don't answer this first question correctly, you're gonna be like, well, I didn't quite understand that. Well, what does this mean? I'm like, bro, like, what?
I'm in defense mode.
A number of conversations, Josh, where we've had a conversation of like is this your wallet? Where I'm like, okay, so obviously, because if I ask if
there's some things that go both ways. It goes both ways too.
And then you go no, and I go, okay, cool. You obviously we're misunderstanding each other.
It was probably because you
what a wallet is and all this shit
that didn't even need to start out on. Like, bro, you could have just asked me straight up. And then we didn't need to get into this bullshit.
Okay, baby.
That's the Eddie playbook.
Well, you gotta give me at least half the time. You know, good and goddamn well, it was necessary to get you to a conclusion that made sense and we agreed on.
I would say, like, look, hey, like it goes both ways, but I don't know if it's half. I don't know if it's a complete half and half.
60-40.
It's probably
60-40. We will not discuss on which way leading.
Okay.
You know?
No, but it's like I think that if people take the time to sit down and like cut through their bullshit and just ask the question, especially in more sensitive matters where they're not trying to lead you, because leading somebody on stuff can also be interpreted as trying to manipulate and trying to sell,
100%.
and trying to do all those kind of things. So I think in circumstances of particular sensitivity, just ask what you want to ask.
What would that be in this situation?
He just wanted to know, are you feeling me still? That is what I think he wanted to know.
Which that's why I said before when Josh said that is he feeling her thing. I think that kind of muddies the water, because those are kind of two separate conversations of like, hey, are you saying no because you're not feeling me, versus we are in a mutually enjoyed sexual romantic relationship and you said no to something in this context, which is fine, and we're not physical, but still, you know, romantically, sexually involved. Yeah. Those are kind of two very different scenarios. Like in terms of what we're saying is wrong. If we're going, this is a girlfriend and a boyfriend, and one of them has said no to something, but they still very much want to continue the relationship, as opposed to, oh, you said no to something, does that mean you don't like me? Because I'm sure we can all imagine a situation where somebody says no to something sexual and the other person just tries to fucking nuke the relationship because of that one no. That's not how you're meant to respond to a boundary. I don't know if I'm making it clear what I'm saying here, but I think that starts to muddy the scenario that we're talking about.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, so I think that's difficult to figure out what that would be. But I think here, it's not just, do you like me? It's also assuming that you do like me based off the fact that you know, further up in this thread said that you did when I did ask my question directly, because he already did the thing that you said, Alvin.
He did, yeah.
Now I'm going, okay, what should I expect in a relationship with a person who makes content? Because I really don't understand what the fuck the rules are here. Like, you do sex for work, and also you maybe kind of do sex with me for joy. where is the line there? And should I expect that you're never going to do anything that you do in work with me here? Cool, fair enough. But is that what that is? So I can decide if I'm down for that. Like, you know what I mean?
Which I think is also a fair, like, core question. But I think that what you need to do is
where
like,
you place it, to my previous point, but
yeah, where you place it, yes, but also like that as your core question is what you should do. Not like, well, why don't you want to send the video to me? Like that, because again, that's open to interpretation in terms of manipulation, in terms of like just ask your question, just ask whatever that is for you.
Yeah.
Well, again, a nigga.
Take it away, Josh.
That might be what he tried to do. That's what this nigga dead ass asked this question.
He basically does ask that. Like he's doing exactly what you've said, Alvin. Like or close, or very as close to you can expect a person to do. Like, what is this?
I think we're letting them off the hook a little bit in that regard.
And I don't want to, so push back by all means.
Just a little bit. I think we're letting them off the hook in that regard. I think we're, myself included, I think we're all reading into like his intent like quite a bit, but that is not what I got from what he was saying. Okay. I'm literally reading between a lot of lines. I'm taking a lot of intuitive leaps. I don't think that's what those screenshots show. I think those screenshots show him saying like, "Why? Well, why won't you send me a video?
Yeah,
I thought we was cool. Yeah, no, that's not what we just discussed is what I think he should have did, and that's not what I saw.
I think I see bits and pieces of both that make it hard for me to know what the intention is. Like I'm not really speaking to intention, but the function of several of the words that he says, like verbatim, are okay, cool. So you do this for work, but you won't do it in this context. And then she's like, I won't ever. Oh, okay. You've revealed a thing about this relationship that I didn't know before. Like he literally asked her, do you mean these particular ones, or would you be willing to take stuff from me in the future that isn't for post? Or like, he's trying to figure out what's the norm. I can't speak to intention, but he is specifically asking these very specific, like, what is the nature of a relationship between us likely to look like?
And I will also just interject here too, is like one of the things about dating sex workers is just because they are employed in the field of sex work doesn't mean that the things that they do for their job is things that they're going to bring into like dating relationship. Like even if they doing like hardcore porn, gang bangs, all sorts of wild shit, getting it the fuck in.
Yeah, I'm not.
That was too much for Alvin.
It was too much for Alvin. No, but that's big fat. I'm just gonna monitor the chat to see when he pops back in. But yeah, no, I think that's such a good point, because I think that the problem with any of these kind of conversations is that it's people on two fucking extremes, and it's like y'all are wrong in different ways, but it's difficult to because so many of the people in some of these comments I'm looking at, they're like, the way that they're defending Cam is making him look bad, because they're being like, well, she's a sex worker, so she should do anything that you. And
it's like, whoa, nigga, I never said no shit like what y'all.
Yeah,
exactly. So it feels very weird in that way.
And it goes the other way too, because like the people who are defending the other girl are like literally calling him like a predator in the second, like he's sexually assaulted.
She's not even accusing him of doing. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and it's weird. It's like, bro, like I'm not neither one of these fucking things. So, like you said, so I'm sorry I cut you off too. I know if you had something.
When I first, it's crazy that I was like, I wasn't sure if we should talk about this. We're probably gonna do the whole episode on it. But I was thinking
gotta touch
about
Cam, man. It's in the zeitgeist.
We got to, it's Cam and Cam. This is the Cam episode. I was thinking about that Nikki Giovanni and fucking Baldwin convo that always gets brought up about this. Like, do you smile for your partner when you come home after a bad day? Kind of a discussion.
Yeah.
And this to me seems like that same kind of thing. But again, it's muddied because to me, this doesn't seem like a conversation between two people who are in a strong relationship. There's two people who are in a fizzling talking stage, which muddies all of this, because this is not, hey, did he violate a boundary in a relationship? This is, did he kind of creep out a woman that they weren't even anything yet, but we're going in that direction. Mm-hmm. So let's say that they were together and they were girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, and she was doing sex work and shit like that. I can kind of I would very much understand where a person who's doing sex work is coming from, where they're like, fuck, if I was a fucking chef, the last fucking thing I want to do when I come home is cook for you. Like, I'm fucking exhausted. I've been plating shit all day. I know I'm good at it, but I do that shit for work and it's fucking exhausting. But then I understand on the other side, if you're a person who's dating a chef, most people are going to expect to get some nice cooked meals.
You might be waving the red flag.
Wait, what you? Oh, yeah, but at the same time,
you made yourself laugh. It's like, that was good.
And that's the episode. But so I kind of see the problem with boundary conversations is that you have to go, okay, when the no happens, you respect that as a thing that is not to be negotiated. Boom, we're done. But I think that in a actual relationship, you go, cool, you said no to this thing. That's fine. You have the right to do that. I also have the right to kind of go like, oh, I'm not satisfied in this relationship. Like I started dating a chef, thought that maybe I'd have meals. I understand that you don't want to do that. And this is a bit of a messy thing because sex and cooking food is not the same thing, but y'all get my point, hopefully. So
it's a one-to-one correlate, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if you think about it.
That's how I heard you say it. That's how I heard you say it.
Yeah. I'm famished. You know what I'm saying? But I'm full too.
Man, bro, quick little tangent, and then we can get on the other cam thing. But it's just like this one account on TikTok. It's a girl, very demure bitch.
Yeah.
And she be like, "Oh my God, my chef!" Yeah, you like that? You like that?
Bitch, Danny than a motherfucker.
Right. Very demure bitch. But she be like, "Oh my God, my chef boyfriend, he worked for 12, 14 hours a day. He comes home. Here's what he made for dinner." And like this motherfucker, like get off from work right into the kitchen, making himself something to eat. Like in the way the account is set up, it's like very like neat, very aesthetic.
Very.
I kind of like hate watching sometimes because I'm like, damn, bitch, why don't you make this nigga something to eat some fucking time? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit. But, I just wanted to throw that out there.
Can I get y'all to respond? Because I guess I'm very curious, because the thing that I just said was very much an ambivalent statement. I'm very curious of y'all's thoughts or pushback on that in a situation specifically like this. Because the question that this whole thing is bringing up is, what is the relationship between someone who does sex for work and the way that their relationship sexually with their partner looks like, and what should be expected or not expected?
I think that it's
I'd like some.
No, I think that it's a conversation based on what those two individuals want in their individual relationships and what they are willing to do in that perspective. And I think that I just continue to harken back to the fact that I think that you should ask. With the only caveat being that I think Eddie's 100% right, that the timing 100% matters, that I think you should just ask your baseline question, your core question about what that looks like.
Or at least the next
Let me ask a more specific, because I think that's a fair answer, but I think it's a case by case is like maybe not useful for helping reduce people down to here's a good rule of thumb or here's what you shouldn't do kind of thing. So let me try a specifying question if y'all niggas not gonna hop on me for asking because it's your wallet. Hate you niggas, man. I can't. I'm trying to tease
you
out.
You fighting against yourself, Eddie. Come on, man.
He's trying to get us to say. He's trying to get us to say what he wants us to say. Like, goddamn, give him space. Let him cook, bro. Let him cook.
That's what I'm saying, man. I'm trying to. I got a whole kitchen. I play the orchestra.
This nigga said they got a whole kitchen.
Yes, sir.
Hands, bitch.
When I ask a question, the only thing I want to fucking hear you respond with is yes, chef. God damn it.
Every time. Do you think that in a situation where a person is dating a sex worker, it is okay for them to be interested in specifically receiving the kind of stuff that sex worker does for work? And if that sex worker is that person who is a sex worker, whatever the fuck, says, "Oh, I'm not interested in doing that," that they go, "Cool, I don't think I want to do this." Do you think that anything in that stage is inappropriate, or anything in that set of things is inappropriate?
Mind you, I'm hearing this. I'm again, a little sick, a little lit, just a little bit. All right, y'all. Okay, if I heard that correctly, I'm going to say no, because, and I mean like no one's in like. I don't feel like you're wrong for having
because it was a double negative. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, like Jesus Christ, this nigga about to get us canceled. But I don't feel like that person is wrong for expecting more of an adventurous sexual lifestyle with such a partner that's in the sex work industry. Now, if you enter this relationship and then you find out that's mad fucking vanilla, but you see your queen doing all this shit that's on the internet, and it's like, okay, can I participate? Like, can I at least get some videos? Like, it's like, no, I don't, baby, I don't do that. That's not what we're doing over here.
That is for TV.
Exactly. That's what I'm an actress. I'm an actress athlete. Okay. Yeah. I'm fucking you in the off season.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm a thespian. Yeah. This is off Broadway.
Right. No. Exactly. So, and then at that point, okay, we'll say, well, it was an honor to get to know you. It was an honor to be inside you. This is not what I wanted. Let me find.
That's great. Did you just make that up?
What's hilarious is that I could see Josh doing that shit.
It was an honor to be inside you. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Shit. I can say I was laughing,
It was an honor and a pleasure. And then just like give him just like a fucking salute as they
salute and walk the fuck out, bro. We
and
cool.
The Nissan Altima is pulling out the driveway.
Exactly.
The 21
a fucking Hyundai Odyssey,
goddamn. Okay. Alvin?
So, yes, I think that everything that you said is fair. And this is an extension. This isn't exactly what you were saying because you were asking about a very specific circumstance. I just think that that didn't happen in this particular
Fair enough. Yeah. I think that's what the conversation has become about, but yeah.
Yeah. But yes, I agree that what you stated is fair.
I asked a question. Yeah. I didn't make a statement. I was curious of what y'all thought. Yeah.
Oh,
because I'm not trying to lead y'all. I asked the thing, and y'all answered. Okay, y'all can't let me do nothing. If I ask a question that's trying to get a statement, I'm wrong. If I ask a question and accept y'all's answers, I'm wrong. So just fuck me, I guess. All right, y'all want to talk about Cam Newton?
I want to talk about Cam Newton because she read that nigga to filth, man. I was like,
what happened? What happened?
I was like, God damn it!
I'll put it up.
Whoa, shit!
Damn.
Yeah, he tried to yap back for a second and then he shut up and listened, which was kind of nice. I thought he was. He tried going to argue the whole time.
Yeah, he tried to do some intellectual hotep shit, and she was like,
"Oh, she wasn't having that."
She had an answer for everything this nigga was saying. Like,
and she did it so motherly too. She was like, "You know what? That's great, and you're a wonderful, wonderful boy. Here's where you've gone astray." Like it wasn't even argumentative. She was like, she was easing him into the
I really only have one caveat to what she said. Like legitimately, I only have one. But go ahead.
I'll play the video and then
we'll get into. I'm like lost.
Oh no, we'll play it for you.
Sound like he got into a fight with a loving Amanda Seals.
Well, I don't know if I will. Basically,
please don't put her in the same category as Amanda Seals.
Yeah, that's why I said loving.
Yeah.
What situation?
Okay, so I'm not married. I have beautiful children.
How many?
8.
By how many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more.
By multiple women? What's the intent?
I just want God
about your wife?
I just want God to bring him.
Oh, okay.
My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce. So, as you would say it, Dr. Brian, you said it, I didn't say it, I will agree. I'm just taking my time.
Can you full screen it?
You're not taking your time.
I am, though.
You're being very action-based. You're not taking your time.
I'm taking my time.
You're being very action-based. You have 8 kids with 3 different women.
Yes.
You are creating, procreating, and multiplying. That is not taking your time. You're being very selectively active. Okay? So you're creating, and disclaimer, the kids are innocent. They are beautiful and amazing. Anything I say has nothing to do with them babies. But you are proactively choosing where you want to be active at and where you want to take your time. You want to take your time in having a wife because of your own fears. But you will, and I say this with all respect and love, what I'm about to say next, okay, Cam? But you will selfishly create broken families, even if you're in their life and you're a proactive father, and I believe you're an amazing daddy. I can only imagine with just your presence and knowing you. But these families are still broken. Every child cannot have Papa in the house with them. So some child, if not all will end up with some kind of deficit without daddy being there. Now, you chose to do that. I'm not saying you sat there and woke up one morning and said, I want to be selfish today, so I'm going to go make a baby. Not saying that at all. But those are selfish acts at the expense of your fear. And yeah, that is a low functioning behavior. To say that I'm going to build these houses and put kids and these beautiful women and kids in them, but I ain't going to create a home in them. I'm going to wait till I dissipate my fear to find a wife where I'm still going to be fearful with, because there's no such thing as not having some type of nerve or some type of feeling behind marrying somebody. And then I'm going to build a home with her while all these other beautiful babies have houses. That's completely unfair and that's selfish. And so, yes, you're taking your time in this department, but you're not taking your time in this department, which means you're compartmentalizing. And compartmentalizing never works. Compartmentalizing hurts everybody involved. Everybody who's in this box and that box and this box and that box and this box. And then here you go over here trying to figure out what box you're going to feed or entertain or do. Then you're looking outside to figure out who's your next victim to put in the box. It's unhealthy.
Read him. Yeah, I have
like 3 disagreements, but I'm largely on board. She largely fucking cooked that nigga.
Yeah,
I think functionally I agree because, but that's with the context of him being a man specifically, and men tending to not be active parents in the emotional showing up sense, even when they are in the home. But my caveat,
one caveat will be that black men
caveat the caveat.
My black man do that better,
but not close enough to women. They do it better than other races.
Exactly, they do it better than other. They do it better than other races.
But they're not doing what women do.
But they're still doing bad.
Yes, I agree. Though I think this is it's a country club conversation. There's black people talking about black people. Everybody's black in this. It don't matter what other races are doing. in my view,
you know what I do. I just try to save us from the.
Got it.
Indeed, man. Give credit what credit due. And we love it when Alvin is on the side of a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because this is, you know.
Yeah, we just did a survey, and it's like I think we got like 15% non-black audience just from the survey that we're doing, which I'll talk about at the end of the episode. But so I think that the idea of wanting to decouple, because it's a thing that I've said, and I know homegirls who have done the same thing, of wanting to decouple partner search from childbearing, to me is a pretty valid stance. Doing it a bunch of times as a man who's not showing up in those homes. But if Cam was like, yo, I have multiple children from multiple women, but we all live in the same house, then I'd be a little bit like, okay, that makes a little bit more sense to me. You probably are able to be an active father to all of these children. The other thing is people get married and they get divorced and you co-parent. So to me, in order to really see whether or not this is nonsense or not nonsense, I would need to see what Cam's actual parenting style actually is and how involved he actually is. And I would have to guess, based on him being a man, that it ain't good enough.
Yes.
But I can't assume that. So that's where my pushback and nuance would be, is that I think that a person 100% can decouple having romance from having children and be a good parent.
Yeah.
If I had to guess based on his stances and how frequently he's on a fucking podcast, he probably isn't doing that. But on paper,
my whole thing is not even the podcast situation.
He has so many dumb takes, bro. Like,
and not even the situation in terms of, you know, partners and all that kind of thing, because I fully agree with the notion that you can be an involved, active parent without being in the home. I 100% think that. I don't think you can be.
I think it's a lot harder.
I'm going to get to that. I don't think that you can be an involved, active parent to 8 children across 3 different homes. I just don't. I question whether or not you can be everything that you ideally should be for a parent if you have 8 children with one woman in one home. Like, I think that's insanely difficult, even in that circumstance. So
honestly, once you get to a certain number, it's hard to be a good parent to all them children, like regardless of how many. That's my point, right? Unless their difference in terms of age, because like, for example, like one kind of leaves and then they're
So for example, like the kids raising the kids.
Yeah, like my sister.
You wrote me into this.
I also think that's different too, right? But like, I also think that depends on male-female dynamics, among other things as well. But you know, my sister has like, I have adult nephews, and then I have nephews that are like in 2nd grade. You know what I mean? So like, so I think you can, if you space it out well enough, then maybe. And my sister does a phenomenal job. But like, if you have like back to back 8 kids with one woman in one household, somebody's falling through the cracks.
Getting left.
So I do think that.
But we don't have that type of energy for that.
Yeah,
I agree, but
I do think that the amount of kids and the amount of baby mamas does have a very strong like
negative correlation.
That's a variable in this. I also think that compartmentalization, like that aspect, I think that's nonsense. Like, I don't think that compartmentalization, and I don't think that's what she was trying to say, but I think she meant something else. Maybe I think she meant something else. But every parent compartmentalizes. If you're
that's regular. That's what you're supposed to do. Yeah.
If you're a good parent, you're compartmentalizing. Just being frank.
But I think giving in, I think it's useful to like go, well, what version of what could she mean would make sense rather than going like she's dumb for what she said. And I think that
I don't think she's going.
You can't separate out your life from your children. Like your children is like your work, sure, but there's not there's a little bit of a life children balance. But generally speaking, your life and raising your children should be integrated into your life. You wake up in the same household, go to bed in the same household as your kids, and I think that she's right about that. You can't compartmentalize your kids.
No, because like the whole thing that spurred on
some me time.
If I may, the whole thing that spurred on that whole conversation, that reaction was the premise of having a nuclear family, of marriage, of having husband, wife, same home. Like that was the premise that spurred on like her response and reading him that and breaking him down like that. So I think that's. And like he was saying, like I do believe it's possible for people to be decoupled and still be phenomenal parents, where the kid is not missing out on shit. Like both the parents in their life, it work out, whatever. Now is Cam Newton able to do all that? Is Nick Cannon, for example?
Probably
I think Nick Cannon is the ultimate prime example.
Probably not for 8+ children. Probably not for 8+ children.
Elon Musk, I don't think that they are.
If Cam,
I think it's possible.
If Cam with his resources had one child with one woman and one child with another woman, I think this is a completely different conversation.
Yeah.
8 children, 3 different households.
3? Yeah.
That nigga got 8 kids?
Yeah.
Across 3 women.
Despite his resources. Despite his resources. No,
okay.
Because it's more than just money. It's not like,
it's time. Everything is time. You don't have time.
And actually being there in your kids' lives. You don't have that. There's literally no way in hell you got that much resource in terms of time and being able to physically be there across 8 kids all the time. And then with your career and da-da-da. So, okay. All right. That's a very important piece of information for me to know. 8 kids, 3 households.
No.
Not saying he's the worst dad in the world at all. Because
he's saying, I want more.
That's
so it's like, you're saying, okay, also, cool, I'm going to give diminishing returns to each of these new kids.
That's insane.
And the one thing I will say is that I do want to look into this a little bit more because some of Cam's kids are not his children, like his biological children. Like he's taking care of some steps.
He was a father that stepped up even when he stepped down.
He was a father that stepped up at least for his first baby.
You feel me, my nigga?
Yeah. He was a father that
see what I did there.
But when you talk to him about those children,
what you meant. What was the joke?
The father that stepped up, that's a trope. Yeah,
the father that stepped up even when he stepped down, like the meaning step down, meaning they're not in a relationship no more, but you still playing that child.
But he still kept it. True. You're right.
But his whole thing, at least historically, is that he didn't want to draw that distinction. He was like, I'm in a relationship with your mother. Like
I'm your father. Period.
I'm your father. Yeah. Like that's, which I think is admirable. But the only other thing that I want because again, I want to be very, very clear that I think that she's like 95% like fucking spot on, is that I also think that, and to Josh's point, or at least what I'm reading into Josh's point, I think that there's just like this veiled like pro-marriage kind of like you gotta be in like a solid like monogamous like clear-cut Western marriage in order to have a quote-unquote non-dysfunctional, non-broken home that I just so adamantly, vehemently disagree with that came across like toward the end. But other than that,
we talked about last episode.
Yeah, but other than that, and like what I talked about further, I think she's right. You know,
I think I got to put my number at a little bit lower than that because after we've talked about it a bit, I'm like, she's only right to the extent that I assume Cam probably isn't present in his children's lives, but I don't know that. If without that evidence, I can't get up to 95 because he may very well, especially being a person who sits there,
knowing him. And like follow, not I don't know him, but like knowing his career and like following him. I'm a Cam Newton fan. I'm a Panthers fan. Yeah. At least 2 of his baby's mamas are in Charlotte. You know what I mean? So in theory, like he has a house in Charlotte. So in theory, he could be fairly present for at least.
And money like with Kobe Bryant and the helicopter shit. Like money can make it to where something that would be an impossible schedule for a regular person becomes very doable. Where it's like y'all have 2 different.
Yeah,
exactly. Like he's just podcasting most of the time. I don't know how it is when you have that level of resource and that level of flexibility in your schedule. It's like, yo, I'm seeing every single kid every single day. as more than the average father would or the average mother would. I'm picking people up from school. I'm not saying that he does, but I'm saying I can't get up to 95 if I don't know how his actual parenting looks.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the example, but that's still literally impossible. But yeah, I get it. Like, if he's still actively involved, like, okay, I'm seeing my kids more than like an active, like a regular active father would. Like, nigga, I'm home. Like, you home. Period. If I'm a regular daddy, I'm home and my kids is home.
So a regular dad has a 40-hour work week.
Yeah, and these niggas is in school.
Work week doesn't. Yeah, okay, but a lot of times that 40-hour work week doesn't intersect with what the school day is. So the average parent is seeing their kid in the morning when they let me at least walk through it. You know what I'm saying? Let me see why I think it's your wallet.
Oh, look at this nigga. Father of the year over here telling us about his daddy and their daddies.
Right. What the fuck?
Ain't nobody on this podcast got kids. We all just making shit up. But the average, if you're a parent, you can just take out the father mother thing. Just if you're a parent, you're seeing your kids when they wake up, you get them ready for school, they go to school, you go to work. Both of y'all are in that thing for the entire day. They maybe get off of school earlier than you finish off work. So then you see them just when you get home. Maybe dinner. You get them to bed or whatever. And then they're asleep. Yeah, dinner. They get them to sleep. And then you see them for most of the weekends. If you've got a job that's more flexible than that, maybe you're not putting them on the bus. You're taking them all the way to school and you're picking them up. And maybe you're taking them out for lunch during the fucking middle of the school day.
Anybody doing that, but yeah.
If you don't have a job, if you don't have a 9-to-5 job, that's a thing you could do. Again, I'm not saying he does. The average 9-to-5 parent can't do that. A flexible parent can do shit like what Kobe Bryant was doing. Like, fuck it, I'll pick my kid up in a fucking helicopter.
And again, also, we're talking about a flexible parent who's worth $100 million. $100
million.
Yeah.
So while I agree with both of you, I'm in camp Josh where I don't think Cam is doing that, but I'm also in Eddie's point where
I don't either.
In theory, like he could do that, and we don't know.
Yeah.
But my thing was,
I'm not gonna throw him under the bus off of a stat.
I wasn't. And like my whole thing wasn't to discredit. It was really just like the last piece. Like it might not have even been necessary for me to say what I said because he was like, "Oh, it's 100% possible for like a nigga with that amount of resources, with that many kids spread across those many homes, to spend the same amount of time as a traditional nigga with one job, one bitch, 3 kids, all in one crib. That is not possible to spend the same amount of time with them kids versus."
I can see that.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I can see that.
I'm pushing it further. I'm pushing it further. Yeah. If it was one woman with 8 children that are all like I'd say like below the age of like 16, it's still not possible to give all of those kids that same level of attention. Like somebody's missing out. I'm taking it a step further.
I think that the problem is that we're not comparing apples to oranges. Because the thing that she's saying is she's not saying you had too many kids. She's saying you have too many baby mamas. Those are different things. So the comparison that was my point, right? One man with one. I'm only integrating y'all's 2 points. I'm not saying that either is particularly wrong or anything. Like we're not comparing one father and one mother with one kid in one household. We're saying, all right, Cam Newton, 3 baby mamas, 8 households, and a bunch of fucking money versus a guy who's got 1 wife and 8 kids in the same house. I still agree that Josh's point is there, but I think that's the comparison that we have to make. And
I
think the amount of attention is divided by the number of kids isn't exactly relevant. To that comparison.
I think it's super relevant to the actual core of the point. But I do think, as I stated before, that yes, I agree with you that there's this undertone of like, you don't want to be married. Why don't you want to be married? Like you should be married kind of situation that like came out toward the end, which was one of my points from a nuanced perspective. But I 100 million% think that at the core of all of this is yes, that you can't give attention to the kids, regardless of what the structural barriers of that is. I think that's the core of it, right? I think there are variables on why you can't do that. And I'm just adding
I think that's a good point.
That
I think that's a good point.
You can't do that.
But I don't think that that's anything to do with what she's saying. And which is why I say, oh, you think that part of her stance is that you're having too many kids?
I think at the core of it, it's the fact that he can't give the kids the amount of attention that they want to do, and I think a variable in that equation is how many kids you have. Yes,
even if she's not directly addressing it.
I think the intention of the statement is what I stated, and I think that when you think about that, then you ultimately have to consider that as a variable. Yes.
Okay. All right. Anything, Josh?
You
got this.
I just would like to say that we salute and we support families, fathers, mothers, sex workers.
Yeah.
Do we support
MILFs,
jugglers,
juggalos? You know, all
juggalos.
Oh, I don't know about juggalos.
Yeah. I mean, well,
juggalos, yes, juggalos, no.
Gigolos.
Yeah. Jello molds we support as well. Jello, but not pudding pops.
Yes.
Not pudding pops,
obviously, for obvious reasons. For obvious reasons. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that is my platform for the ending platform for tonight.
Josh, 2028? Is that when?
2032. 2032.
2032, the ticket we're running? Okay.
Yeah, Alvin, yes, you missed it.
Secretary
Eddie
of
and
the
myself.
Treasury, baby.
Yes, we are running for presidential candidacy. I will be the vice president.
Co-presidents? No, co-presidents.
Yeah.
I'm game for co-presidents. We'll be
the first ever try president.
I like that. I like that.
A board of presidents.
The tribunal.
Maybe Secretary of State. It'll be fine. It'll be all good.
Okay, we got I was thinking you was gonna be one of the secretary types because you like the puppet master, you know.
Yeah, 100%. Chief of staff.
All right,
there you go.
Well, look, if you've got a nature enthusiast in your DMs pressing you for nudes that you usually give out for payment, you might be seeing a red flag. But at the same time, if you've got more baby mamas than Donald Glover has BET awards, it might be you that's waving a red flag. It's been Waving the Red Flag podcast. It's been Eddie. It's been Josh. It's been Alvin.
Hold on, time about.
We'll see y'all next week.
Why you just blow this nigga Josh mind? Like, why you look like this nigga Josh eyes got
Because this shit made me think like, yo, this nigga really was asking for her to give away her product for free. It was like, yo, bitch, why not?
This nigga said you really made him think. This nigga said you really got him.
You really got in my mind. You really got in my mind.
Shit. That was good.
But then we all also agreed that that's not that crazy of a thing to think.
It was just a new thing, like, you know what I'm saying?
It was like, oh shit, that's kind of crazy. But I mean, fuck it.
Editor note, please zoom in on Josh's face when they shit trust.
By the way, so for everybody that's listening, especially those people who are in Atlanta, right now we're trying to do early research on how we might approach a live show, like a live something. So we've dropped a survey link that's in the bio. As many of y'all as possible as can fill that out, that'd be super, super helpful to just helping us like construct that. We need y'all's help there. It's in the link is in the description. We're going to be running that for a little while so we can get as much replies as possible, especially if you're in Atlanta, but literally everybody, we need y'all's help to get info on that. If you want bonus content, if you want access to the Discord server where we have some of these conversations, like, you know, in more depth with the community, hop on Patreon, YouTube, or Spotify to join as a member of our community. Like, subscribe, you know what I'm saying? Comment what you think about whatever headassery or nuance or, you know, great takes we've had during this episode. It's been a podcast, you know what I'm saying? Eddie, Alvin, Josh, again, as I said, 2032, baby. Peace, peace, peace. You know what I'm saying? Make America gangster again.
Oh, we gotta like flex in like the Jamaican horns with like the United States like anthem horns at some point.
Yeah. House music anthem.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
It's a red flag.